Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Hoop Talk, the podcast with episode 17. If you're tuning in, our top 10 individual seasons of all time, or I guess not all time, but technically all time, right? Well, whatever you want to call it, has already come out. It's going to come out before this podcast episode, so make sure y'all go tap into that. It's one hell of a debate. It's a bit long, man, but feel free to skim through. We're not going to judge you. We just want you to take a couple pieces from it, man. Hit us in the comment section and let us know if our lists were accurate, if we're missing somebody you believe should have been on there, and tell us who was your biggest surprise of the day. Who was the biggest surprising season that was included or excluded from the list. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit us in the comment section. Do all that good stuff to help us grow. Let's get right into it. Tyler, I hear you have a question to stir the pot. Let us know what it is.
Yes. So yesterday we kind of talked about, the number of best seasons, and a lot of times influence would come up. So I wanted to ask you both, if you had to create a Mount Rushmore of 4 players that you believe changed the way that basketball is played, who would those 4 be?
Man, Nas, can I take it away? I already know.
Yeah, sure.
I think the most influential one would be Steph Curry. I think second would be, is it how the game is played or just a major change in general?
I'd say it's up to you. They changed the way that basketball is played. Who do you think that was?
Allen Iverson. It wasn't so much on the court, but so much as being, one, a very small 2 guard and being successful in that role, and 2, like what fashion is in the NBA and what fashion means, hip-hop, how he kind of just bridged those 2 together. I think that's pretty dope. I would love to throw Magic and Bird as a Tatum. I think they both
can't do that.
Can't.
It's gotta be one. Damn. It's gotta be 2 of them, or it's gotta be 1.
Damn. I'm gonna go Magic. I think Magic was more, I would say, of a household. I mean, I'm not saying Larry Bird wasn't a household name, but popularity contest, everybody loved Magic. If you didn't like Magic, there was something wrong with you. To this day, he still has that, charismatic, that enigma about him where he just smiles and you smile with him. I'm going to go LeBron James. I think he changed the way NBA players do business in the NBA in general. I don't think he's one of those players that you can really emulate or play like. And any type of, he's ambidextrous and he's also a genius damn near. But when it comes to business, I think he changed the way the NBA handles business. And then I don't have a 5th, but those are like the 4 I can just shoot right off my head, just like that.
Well, it is only 4, but
okay, I forgot.
I would say, I think Stephen Curry needs to be on everybody's list. I'd be shocked if it isn't. He changed basketball completely. The 3-point shot is the most prominent and most sought-out capability to have on a basketball court because of what Stephen Curry showed the world it can do and how it can impact a game. Shooters are at an all-time high. Players who weren't shooters before have, become much greater shooters now. I.e. LeBron, for example, shooting his logo 3s now. His
he likes to dub it.
Fuck you threes. You know what I mean? He's even changed LeBron. So yeah, he's probably I'd debate 1 or 2 in regards to just ranking them most influential players of all time. I would choose Magic over Bird as well. I believe they were a duo in that category of influential. I do agree with that, but if we had to talk about just the game of basketball itself, Magic, I believe, altered the game itself more. He made basketball flashy. He made basketball entertaining. He made basketball fun. He made basketball. It's not a sport anymore. This is just a game. He turned it into a game. I'm really good at it. I'm gonna get paid a lot of money to do it. You know what I mean? And I think I put MJ as my 3rd on Mount Rushmore. Well, we're talking about the game, right? We're talking about basketball. So, I might take MJ out. I'll take MJ out. I'm going to say Dirk. That's going to be my plot twist of today. I'm going to say Dirk.
Europeans. I got it. I like that.
I think he changed the game in multiple facets. I think he was the first major recognized European in the NBA that really showed the world I can actually be one of the best players of all time without being American. You know what I mean? And others were, but something about Hakeem, you don't think of overseas when you think Hakeem all the time. If that makes sense? I think he went to college here in the States, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. Most of the time they
So
don't.
there's
So
something
yeah, you're
about
right.
Hakeem that it just doesn't. He doesn't pop into your head as one of those landmarks of overseas basketball. But
I
yes, he
agree with
does
you.
deserve respect for being a foreign basketball player at the end of the day. But I think Dirk is the face of that. He's the face of foreign basketball. He was the first major foreign basketball player. But that's just one aspect of the game that he changed. He also turned big men into shooters. Like there were big men that could shoot. There were big men that could knock down their shots from far, maybe long twos, even threes. But Dirk made it to where like I'm 7 foot tall, 250 pounds. I'm the same size as your center, and I'm shooting threes consistently. I'm pulling up from
And I
Yeah.
mid
can take you
range.
off the dribble.
I can take you off the dribble. Like
Yeah.
he taught the world that big men don't have to play like Shaq. Big men don't have to play like David Robinson. Like we can dominate this game in a completely different way. And I think that's when people started trickling in, and we started getting the Kevin Loves, the Carl Anthony Towns, is the you know
KGs,
players,
you could throw KGs in there.
yeah,
You could
players of
throw
that
any big
fashion.
man who can
Um,
shoot behind the arc and create offense like on their own without a
yeah,
point guard. You can throw him in there.
that
You can
KG,
even throw AD in there. Yeah,
K,
KG, AD.
KG came before Dirk, but yeah, I think he changed the game in that aspect. And if I had to go with number four, I do want to go. I do want to go AI. I do. I didn't say I am. I didn't say I am.
Oh my
I said I
gosh.
do want to, and I think he has all the case in the world to deserve it. However, I think. Oh man, I'm stuck here. I think I'm gonna go Kobe. I'm gonna go Kobe. I think Kobe made it cool to do your thing out there, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I think Kobe made it cool to go out there and just be, this game is about me. I'm gonna take this shit over. I'm gonna carry us. I'm the best player here. I don't give a damn how good my teammates are or how bad they are. I feel like he has that he made it cool to be a chucker. He made it cool to be a ball hog. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like a lot of players in this generation benefit from the idea that it's worked in the past, so we're gonna give these young guys an opportunity to play that way. We're gonna give them an opportunity to play that way and to be themselves, to be a little selfish at times because Kobe made people believe that that is what your star is supposed to do. He really did. And our argument yesterday, tap into the video so you can see what I'm debating, what I'm talking about. But our argument yesterday, it did spawn from Kobe. It spawned from Kobe taking the last shot, Kobe being a killer, Kobe being an assassin. Right? That was the debate, and that is what we want out of our stars now, isn't it? Right? That's what the common
Yeah.
fan wants out of their
The
stars.
Conversation.
only real quick, the only reason I'm not even going to argue with on it because every time anybody takes a jump shot nowadays, it's maybe our era, but every time it might be Curry now to the newer kids, but for us it was like every time you shot a paper ball in a trash can, maybe a sock into your hamster, we're all yelling Kobe. So like I can agree with you on that. No, I can see that
Yeah,
aspect.
I think AI had a close case, and yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think AI is just as influential as some of these other guys, but I have a preference towards Kobe, so I'm gonna go Kobe for my fourth spot.
Well, for me, I will start off with some of the obvious people. Steph, I mean, he changed the way that shooting is. It went from a primarily, mid-range league to everyone's kind of going beyond the arc now. Magic, I think without Magic, I don't think that we get LeBron. Magic kind of, he was an inspiration for Grant Hill. Grant Hill was also an inspiration for LeBron.
Scotty,
I don't think that we have, bigger wings, ball handling, defending the way that he was without Magic. Shout out Larry Bird though. I also have Dirk. I think Dirk was the first like unicorn, I guess you could say, the first big man 7 footer that could rebound, that could shoot, that could pass, handle the ball. So I think he deserves a lot of recognition. We probably don't get KD We probably don't get Kristaps, Karl Anthony Towns without him. There's just so many people that were influenced by him. And then those three were influenced. The question I also asked was there anyone that you, for your Mount Rushmore, was there anyone that changed the way that basketball was played? I would also say Wilt. Wilt, like, literally, like, caused rules to be changed. Goaltending rules were changed for him. You had to keep your feet below or beyond the free throw line because of him. They widened the lane because of him. Offensive rule changes because of him. He really did, like actually change the NBA. So I think he deserves to be up there as well.
These are all good ones. I'll say this is quite arguably the first time we've made a list where I can't disagree with anything that was selected. This is probably the only time. There's always that one rough take that I just gotta sit here and we're gonna have to argue for a couple minutes. But no, nobody had that today. I think Wilt is a good choice there. I think you can make an argument that LeBron changed certain aspects of the game. You can make an argument that Michael Jordan changed certain aspects of the game. You can even argue Shaq changed certain aspects of the game. But yeah, I
Charles
think
Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
Well, Shaq added rules.
Charles Barkley is the reason they did the 5 seconds to 5 seconds back to the basket? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Shaq is the reason they have the 3 seconds in the key.
3 in the key.
You can't stand. Yep. They both were dominant people. Different sizes, different builds. It's just crazy how they were both so dominant, though. I could agree with you guys on that.
Yeah, I like the list. Let us know in the comment section how you guys feel, and if you're watching, man, tell us who are your 4 Mount Rushmore when it comes to game changers and influential basketball players in all time. Let us know in the comment section. But let's get on with it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some youngins today. Let's recap some March Madness. Since last time we have potted, the round of 32 has concluded. That was a few days ago. They've been off for about 3 days. But, of course, we haven't potted since then. Let's take a look at who advanced to the Sweet 16, and they are currently playing today. Actually, there's games going on right now. Number 4, Purdue defeats McNeese. McNeese goes down. Unfortunately, no Cinderella story for them. Shout out to Amir Khan. He was not able to advance his team to the next round. But shout out to Purdue, though. That's
But he
Hayward,
did
right?
get an NIL deal. He did get. He's moving with his coach to the new school.
Yeah,
So
shout out to him,
got
man.
an NIL deal over there.
Rest in peace to a real one, man. They didn't make it, but shout out to them for putting that together. Upset, number 10, Arkansas defeats St. John. That was the John Calipari versus Rick Pitino matchup there. John Calipari getting the best of his old rival, Rick Pitino, in a 75-66 win. Arkansas advances to Sweet 16 in typical John Calipari fashion. Successful winning basketball everywhere he goes. Number 5, Michigan, technically upsets. Number 4, Texas A&M. 5-4 matchup, pretty even matchup, I would say, but they did win that.
Even as it gets.
Yeah, as even as it gets.
I can't even call that an upset.
Yeah, you're right, but they were the lower seed at the end of the day. But yeah, they also won by 12, so it wasn't as even as you would think on the scoreboard. Number 3, Texas Tech defeats number 11, Drake. Shout out to the Sixth God. Number 1, Auburn defeats number 9, Creighton. Number 6, BYU defeats number 3, Wisconsin by 2. That was also a bit of an upset there. Number 1, Houston defeats number 8, Gonzaga. That was an exciting game. Very close call there for Houston. They almost did lose that game. Number 2, Tennessee defeated number 7, UCLA. That all happened last Saturday, same day that we potted. And then on Sunday, the next matchups and the conclusion of the round of 32 was number 1, Florida defeating number 8, UConn. Shout out to the Gators. Of course, the Blue Devil Nation, the boys in blue, Duke, defeat Baylor. Number 3, Kentucky defeat number 6, Illinois. Number 2, Alabama defeat number 7, St. Mary's. Number 4, Maryland defeated number 12, Colorado State. Another exciting game as well. Only a 1-point deficit there in favor of Maryland. Number 6, Ole Miss upsets number 3, Iowa State by 13. They advance to the Sweet 16. Number 2, Michigan State defeats number 10, New Mexico. And number 4, Arizona advances as they defeated number 5, Oregon. And currently, today is March. Where am I? 27th.
27th.
We have BYU currently down by 14 to Alabama. That is a 6-2 matchup there. Alabama being number 2. There's 10 minutes and 54 seconds left in the second half. 16 minutes and 9 seconds left in the second half in the Florida versus Maryland matchup. Florida currently up by 8. 9:39 p.m. Eastern, we have Duke, or I guess 9:30, but that's their tip-off. I'm sorry. 9:30, we have Duke versus Arizona. That's going to be a bigger challenge than what we've faced so far. So
it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, that should be a good game. I believe Caleb Love is in Arizona now, is he not? If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, or in the comments. I'm not a streamer.
I know Bryce is going out there.
He is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's in Arizona.
Yeah, he is going to go to Arizona. Caleb Love is in Arizona.
And Bryce isn't that bad either.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
He transferred, right? He was.
Bryce is just like Bronny.
He was at UNC last year.
Exactly like Bronny.
Yeah,
so?
He's 6'8". He can shoot.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that today. Maybe another day. Number 3 Texas Tech will face number 10 Arkansas at 10 o'clock. Let's see if Mr. John Calipari can keep it going. And then tomorrow's matchups are going to be Ole Miss versus Michigan State, Kentucky versus Tennessee, Michigan versus Auburn, and Purdue versus Houston to cap off the Sweet 16. Let's see who advances to the Final 8. Is it what? Elite 8? That's what they call it. I'm sorry. Elite 8.
Elite 8.
Yeah. So let us know in the comment section if you've changed your mind, if your team has already lost since the last time we asked, who is your next favorite to win the tournament. Of course, I'm riding with my boys in blue. I got Duke. They are the Vegas favorite this year. They haven't been in a long time. Duke being one of the most dominant teams in college basketball this year. Shout out Cooper Flag for making that happen. But overall, phenomenal team. I easily believe we have about 3 lottery picks this year, easily. So it's going to be one hell of a year.
Duke fashion. Kind of makes sense.
But that is it.
What I expect from Duke.
That's it for March Madness. Did you guys have anything you wanted to tag on? Any March Madness interest that you've seen over the last few days?
Some small ones. Juju. Well, we'll talk about it soon, but it does kind of fall into March Madness as well. I would say Juju got injured, which really does suck. Azzi Fudd also in the women's side of March Madness. She's out for the rest of the season with an injury. She just got surgery on, and those kind of suck.
It does.
Yeah.
That is something that I have to do for next episode. I apologize to all the female basketball fans in the world. We should have incorporated them in our recap as well. That's on me. But we will
I do
next
have something
episode. Go ahead.
I liked about March. This is more of like a pop culture thing. Did you guys see Jaden McDaniel, the NFL player, and Juju sitting together?
Oh, yeah.
It was like a funny voiceover they did on the internet where like Juju was like, "I don't like your mom. She's always watching us."
Bro, Jaden Daniels' mom cursed Juju. That's why she tore her ACL.
Man, I hope not. That's where I was going with this. But it's so funny that, she was all through the news and then she gets freaking hurt. So if the floor was slippery there, it wasn't Jaden McDaniel's mother. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Cool news. I like when two sports bridge together like that. So it's pretty cool. And it gives
that was pretty
women's
funny,
basketball kind of a more light. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I saw that was trending all over the place. There was a bunch of voiceovers that I saw. I think I sent you guys one on Instagram. That was pretty hilarious. But yeah, Juju did tear her ACL. Very unfortunate. She's going into her final year of college before she's eligible, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, say it one more time.
She's going into her final year now before she's eligible for WNBA.
No. She's going into her third year.
Don't you only need to do 3 years?
No, you have to do 4. And you can do 5.
You have to do 4. Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I thought you only needed to do 3. Okay.
No, you can only do 3. You can do 3 and go. I'm pretty sure, because that's what Caitlin did.
No.
Well, Caitlin did 4 years.
She did. Wow.
I think you're thinking of Angel Reese. She did 3, but she got injured her first year, so it didn't count.
Got it. Okay.
Well, that makes sense. Oh, damn, she's injury prone then. She's pretty injury prone in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so is Cameron Brink, because Cameron Brink also, I don't know why I said that, but I'm thinking of ACL tears because we talked about her, Juju. Cameron Brink also is injury prone. So a lot of the stars coming into the league, Paige, Azzy Fudd,
Yeah, Pages
they're all
too. Yeah.
injury prone.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks.
They're all ACL injury prone, which is a little different than like regular injuries.
No, you're
Well,
right.
hopefully
Those are
Juju recovers
long.
quickly. That is definitely something that we don't want to see that alter her in any way. That's for sure. So crossing my fingers on a healthy recovery.
For
Luckily
sure.
for her, I think having 2 more years left to go, I think is a good thing. Gives her plenty of time to strengthen that part of her body and get back to it before it's time to finally declare for the draft. Um, but last thing about college basketball, I saw a bunch of different takes on Instagram, so I thought to myself, I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. But I forgot to put the number from last year, but this year, as it stands right now, from the last time I checked, when I first put this on here, the number was at 700. Since then, that number has updated. There's over 1,000 players in the transfer portal for NCAA basketball right now, which is, of course, I think you can imagine, a record at this point. Last year's number was nowhere near this. I believe it was in the 200s, if I'm not mistaken. Um, at this point of the year, it was only in the 200s. 1,000 plus players is pretty crazy. I'm just curious overall, what do you guys think about the transfer portal? And since it's been incorporated, do you believe it's good or bad for the game of college basketball?
I love it. Just like the NBA, I love players being able to go where they think they fit. A lot of times, these players will get recruited. Their coach will leave. They're promised playing time, and then they don't get it. They don't get the opportunity that they were told. Leave. You are now worth something.
Yeah.
You have a name. You have a brand with you. Play where you feel
Hmm.
fit. This is a lot of these people don't get paid, and if they do, they get NIL deals. You don't want to risk paying for a team to get injured before you make it to the league. Go where you want to play. Just do that.
I like that. With me, mostly it's like what Tyler said. I'm gonna really kind of just glorify that even that part when coaches leave, because a lot of the time when coaches leave, the whole program leaves with them because the program is something the coach built in a sense of like when we practice, how we practice, where we recruit, what players are we bringing up, the play style, and when you're told by someone for a year, maybe 2 years on out of your high school life going into the college that if we got you, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure you're good. And then we get there, and 6 months into me being at that school, you're now working to go to a bigger school to get a better job, and I'm stuck here trying to figure out what's going to happen next year. Where could I transfer for? Where can I transfer to? And I think the biggest thing about the transfer portal to me is that I know these kids are getting money and they're changing their families' lives without having to go pro. And that's my favorite thing about the transfer portal. They're allowed to go chase a bag. They don't have to worry about signatures or nothing like that anymore. Or I mean, even it kind of sucks. I mean, this is more football related. Like what happened to Reggie Bush, what happened to the Fab Five. They were just trying to eat. So I think being able to go where you want to go and also feeding your family and getting something out of this is awesome. So yeah, all 1,000 plus kids, go get your money. Find the right coach, find the right position, find exactly where you belong. Because at the end of the day, man, the half of those kids, maybe at least 10, more than 1% of those kids are going to the NBA. The other 99%, this is like their last stop. This is their last hoorah. So yeah, definitely go do what you think is right for yourself and your family.
Yeah, at the beginning, I wasn't a huge fan of the transfer portal. But it's grown on me more over time, just because there are multiple aspects of it. There are things about the transfer portal that I'm not a huge fan of. I do think it can be, what's the word? It can be relegated a little better. It can be regulated. I'm sorry. It can be regulated a little better, to ensure that it doesn't impact players' careers mentally. I wasn't a huge fan in the beginning of the entitlement that it's going to create in young minds, and how it's going to impact them going forward. Um, and and I do think that is still a factor. But it's up to it's up to the agents, it's up to the parents, it's up to the coaches or any other influences that they have in their lives to keep them grounded. Um, but From a money perspective, of course, thank you. From the money perspective, of course, it is phenomenal for these kids to be able to find opportunities elsewhere where you might be able to make money off of your craft that you've worked so hard from or worked so hard on. But one thing that I will say, and this is ultimately why I added this to the list, is I don't believe you should be able to transfer before the season is completed. Like the tournament is
Yeah.
currently going on. Like you don't see players in the NBA signing a new contract while while the playoffs are still in the second round. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it's kind of wild.
like it's kind of crazy to say, and I believe only players who are not playing can be put themselves in the transfer portal. I believe at least that's how they do it, which is at least something good. But like, wait until March Madness is over. You know what I mean? Wait until
Bro, at least wait a week.
Yeah, like wait until wait until the winning team does their parade and all their all their TV interviews and stuff. You know, what I mean? Like the NBA has a time period before free agency starts. At the very least, the NCAA should incorporate that too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's funny is McNeese states, not to highlight them even more, but their coach was pretty much saying like, "Hey, this is my last hoorah here. You guys, I'm gonna take some of y'all with me, but I'm already going to the next school." That was pretty much what everybody was saying about McNeese State's head coach, because he was pretty much telling them the whole year, "I'm trying to get back to the Big Ten, so I'm gonna go back to the Big Ten. I think it's the Big Ten." But yeah, I think it's hilarious. But I mean, the level of professionalism these kids are gonna have by the time they hit the NBA, because they know that anything can change at any time. I think it's more impactful for them in a good way than it is a negative way, because we know now this coach can be gone tomorrow, another person will replace him tomorrow, the next day. But my bad, Nas, I didn't mean to go into that soliloquy.
I don't even know what I was saying, but yeah, they need to wait at the very least. That's ultimately why I
Yeah.
put this on here. I wanted to say that they should wait. Like it makes no sense. I'm pretty sure we were still in the first round when I saw this. I don't even think we were into second round.
They
yet,
didn't
you
even
know what I
know.
mean?
No,
Like,
it wasn't even
No,
tournament.
it opened
yet.
Monday.
Like it's
it opened Monday.
Oh.
Okay, so that's the beginning of the second round. So like that's what I mean. Like you could have waited a little longer. Like goddamn, but
Your team just got eliminated like 6 minutes ago, and you immediately hopped onto the transfer portal. That's kind of crazy, bro.
All right,
Yeah,
so imagine that plane ride back to the university after a loss, and you're about to go to the rival school next year. That is
No, this dude the whole time flying back, he's like, "I can't wait to see you guys next year. We're gonna have a great summer. I can't wait to do this again." As soon as they get on the plane, he hops on the Wi-Fi, already in the transfer portal.
he's that guy. He's talking to them on his phone, and he's putting his application in while he's talking. Man, y'all had a great season, man. I can't wait to get into the gym this summer with y'all, man. Who's coming back next year, man? I can't wait to run it back with y'all. And the whole time he's on his phone, just putting in his application for the
Sounds
transfer
like you keep
portal.
pressing buttons. Why are you on speaker?
the worst
I was
player
like,
on the
Coach.
team.
Coach, you always tell us to look at you when you talk. So what are you doing? What's going on? He's like, oh, nothing, man. I'm just doing something important over here. Just handling some business. But that's the transfer portal can be something crazy, man. But that's the only thing I have about it. I still have my doubts about the transfer portal. I think it could be regulated a little bit better, but hey, it's new. They're gonna get better at it every year. They're gonna implement more rules, more expectations. So we'll see how it goes going forward.
Yeah, me too. I think one of my takes, I think, on it, just and then we'll leave it alone, is I think you should at least do 2 years at a college before you could go somewhere else. I know that might affect some college kids' careers, but at least a 2-year contract where it's mandatory, unless the school opts you out of it. Like it's the school's decision to let you go.
You know what would fix it? Just remove the NIL deals for the first year if you transfer. People won't do it.
Oh, see, we should be a part of the committee. Hit us up, college basketball.
I think it's like it's interesting because like if you're transferring schools, like there's so many aspects to it because if you're transferring schools, maybe Caleb Love, maybe a case that you can say it doesn't apply to. I'm pretty sure he was at UNC last year, if I'm not mistaken, or like a big school. I don't remember what it was. He was at UNC last year. Fuck UNC, and then he transferred over to Arizona. So it's like it's interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting to for him it works out, but it's not as easily effective for other players because if you're transferring, more than likely you didn't have the best season you wanted to have. More than likely you didn't show out. More than likely your draft stock is not high. If you're even on the fucking stock market for the draft in the first place, you know what I mean? So like transferring schools means you're gonna have to have the season of your life to even get yourself in that conversation. So it's like, some of these guys are transferring for the opportunity to get recognized. It's like, I'm not trying to be that negative Nancy, bro, but it's your chances are low. You know what I mean? If you didn't pop off that first year, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody can be Rodney Hood. You know what I mean? And I mention him just because I'm a Duke fan. I mention him because I'm a Duke fan, and I know it's there's possibility of a transfer saving your draft stock. You know what I mean? Rodney Hood played for a no-name school. He was JUCO when he came out of high school. Played for a no-name D2 school. Played for a no-name D1 school. Popped off and then played for Duke and got drafted in the lottery. You know what I mean? Steph Curry, had the luxury of being a part of the Curry family, but he did not get scouted by Duke. He transferred to Duke, you know what I mean, and played with Austin Rivers and rose his draft stock. I don't believe he was a lottery pick, but it rose his draft stock. However, his career ended. I don't know if he got drafted or if he was undrafted and got signed. I don't remember, to be honest. But not everybody can have that lucky, scenario. It's not easy. So I do think it's primarily for the opportunity to make more money, but you can't tell me that all 1,000 of these players are going to a school that can offer them any type of real NIL money. All 1,000 of them? No way. Some of them are going because they think. Yeah, like some of them are going because they think they're going to get recognized. And man, I'm sorry to tell you, their likelihood is very low. It's very low.
There's 1,000 other people transferring. Do you think that we're going to remember who you were at this new school when there's 1,000 other new additions?
Yeah.
And also the other recruiting class coming up as well? Exactly. You're probably better off staying at your school and making a name
probably
there.
Are. Senior, or not seniors, but tenured players get more opportunities as they get older in college. That is a common thing. You know what I mean? If you're now a sophomore, if you're now a junior, you are going to get more minutes. Put in the work and do more with the more minutes you get, even if it's just 2, even if it's just 5. Put in the work in the summer, get in that fucking gym, and then come back and show out. But like some of these guys that are doing it for the money, I hope you have guaranteed money coming your way. And some of these guys that are doing it for the opportunity, I don't think a lot of them should have.
I actually, real quick, I mean, a lot of these coaches, when they go in that portal, they're looking for tenured players. They're looking for the 24-year-olds, the 23-year-olds, the 26-year-olds, 25-year-olds, players that they can trust, players who've had experience. No, they're starters. St. John, even though they lost against Arkansas, a lot of their players were older players. So is Arkansas. Not a majority of them. He'll get, like John Calipari will go ahead and get his 4, 5-star recruits, and then the rest of them are older players. And he's been known to have older players on his team. I think Nas is right. Like, just the fact that you need to stay somewhere and lock in, that is valuable in the sense of, like, being a better player. Like, adversity builds players. Like Davison, Steph Curry, Murray State for Damian Lillard. You could even go Dwayne Wade, where he went to school. Like, those adversities makes those players ready for these moments in the NBA. So I could definitely agree with you guys on that for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully it works out for all of them, of course, at the end of the day. Not saying that I'm wishing any type of negativity on anybody's career, but moving on from that, we got some things going on in the NBA as well. Starting off with our good buddy LeBron James, who sparked a lot of conversation yesterday during our top 10 single seasons of all time. Don't forget to go tap into that video. Another shameless plug there. But LeBron James and Stephen A. saga has continued and has gotten better and better with time. Has gotten better. Just like LeBron James himself, this little beef has gotten better and better over time.
That was good, Nas. That was good.
But LeBron James went on the Pat McAfee show, his podcast, and spoke on the situation, making various comments. Spoke on other things. I personally did not watch the whole show; just watched the snippets of the Stephen A. Moments, of course. But essentially saying that Stephen A. kind of has been overdoing it or doing too much. He made, of course, called him out, saying that Stephen A. is telling the world that he didn't want to bring this up, or he wasn't intending to come onto his show and talk about it. And LeBron called BS on that. He called bullshit and said, "Of course you were. You were the first person. You couldn't wait till the video came out so you can talk about it," which I 100% agree with. I mean, he's a media personality. You prayed at night that this video would go viral so you can make money off of it, so you can come to get called up to do all these interviews and all these podcasts, because he's getting paid to be on these shows. He's Stephen A. He's not a regular person. You know what I mean? He's not just coming on these shows for shits and giggles. You know what I mean? You want me on your show, give me a couple stacks. And they want him on the show, and that's what he's taking out of it. He's milking it. And LeBron called him out for it. What do you guys think of the beef continuing? And I thought it was going to die down by now.
I love it.
But it doesn't look like it.
I love it. You cannot convince me that LeBron's not getting ready to retire. Or he's made up in his mind that he's retiring soon, and he's just going like scorched earth on everybody. He's talking shit to anybody who's on Pat McAfee's show, bro. Just talking shit. I've never seen that in my life.
Just sell it. And what's crazy is we can't even say like a prime player, because we can say a prime player in his prime, like literally going to a show and talking shit. It's LeBron James, so we got to keep this kind of like, in context. But still, like the fact that LeBron, a very, I would say, more private kind of guy when it comes to how he feels and thinks things, especially with the media, it's just crazy how he's decided to be like, you know what? I'm going for your leader, and I'm destroying him publicly, privately, in every way possible. It's insane. Like, and you know what's even more crazy kind of built on? He has a show about basketball, but they literally talk about basketball. Like, I don't think you guys see the pun in that, but it's actually freaking hilarious that they talk about plays, and people were tuned into that and loved it, because it was just actually about basketball and not about the semantics of this player's wife or this player sleeping with this player's wife. Like, it's just about basketball. And I think it's hilarious that he's decided to revolutionize the new media, which is awesome, bro. I'm here for it. I'm so here for it.
I think it's crazy. Stephen A. also made a comment. I don't know if you guys saw this happened after I put all this on the notes. He made a comment saying if LeBron would have put his hands on him, he would have punched him in his face. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Did you see LeBron's post on Instagram?
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to next time. It is something else, man. It is something else.
That's so disrespectful, bro.
You know what's crazy, though, like, about this whole saga? Like, Stephen A. went on air and said LeBron wasn't even at Kobe's funeral. Literally on air, he had to apologize about saying that, because LeBron showed up at the second half of the funeral, because he's an NBA player. He has a lot of things to do. Just because, no offense, Kobe has passed away didn't mean they had games going on, didn't have scheduling that conflicted him going on time, and he showed up. I just think it's hilarious.
He passed away in the middle of. He passed away like in February. It was the middle of the season.
January. It was January, like the worst time of the year for the NBA.
Not literally to say that it's not important, of course, but like Orlando said, he is an NBA player, a full-time NBA player. Like he has practice. You know what I mean? Like that is a requirement. Just because he's LeBron doesn't mean he can get up and say, "Coach, I'm not coming to practice." Then that means nobody else is going to practice. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying he had practice that day. I'm just saying like he has things going on. You know what I mean? Like plenty of things that he needs to do. But yeah, go ahead, keep going.
No. I mean, literally film. He has to eat. He takes care of his body. LeBron's peculiar about his sleep. Like, it's just like, if you know the player, you know that he's probably one of the most busiest NBA, not just players, but just personnel, like, in general. He might be more busier than Adam Silver. That's how I feel about LeBron.
There's no way.
There's no way. I don't think so.
No, but listen, like, he's got a production company. He got a production company. He helps Rich Paul with his agency.
Adam Silver runs one of the biggest companies in the world.
LeBron is not in charge of any of that stuff. He's delegating his responsibilities to other people.
I'm just talking shit.
LeBron knows how to use a camera?
Adam Silver owns a global multi-billion-dollar business. Like he doesn't own, but does he own? Is that how that works?
No, he
Adam
runs
Silver owns LeBron James.
No,
Can
he
you do that?
it. He
basically
does
You know
not
how
does.
own
busy he
LeBron
is.
James.
He basically does. He basically
He owns
does.
his likeness right now while he's in the NBA. He like genuinely does, which is
Does
terrible.
he own it or does the NBA own it? That's the
He is
question.
the
Who
commissioner
owns
of
the
the
NBA
NBA.
right now?
But it doesn't just because you're a commissioner doesn't mean you own it. You just commission it. If that makes sense, you just kind of run it. It's like a super general manager or something like that. I don't think he like.
So he runs LeBron's likeness.
Yeah.
I'll take that, but I don't think he owns it. He doesn't own LeBron's like this.
LeBron
I got
can't
so
take.
mad when I said that.
LeBron can't go on
Yeah,
Pat
hell
McAfee's
yeah.
show. LeBron can't go on Pat McAfee's show without Adam Silver approving it. I'll tell you that much.
Are you serious?
I don't think
You
so.
think so? I don't think
I'm
so.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Or he can't. Let me rephrase that. He can't say anything unless he knows Adam Silver's going to be okay with it. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not
he didn't want to
gonna
get
lie.
fined. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Which is
I
you know
can't-
it's a control
Yeah.
factor there.
I can't wait for the LeBron lines after he retires. I cannot wait for the LeBron lines. I cannot wait for his 30 for 30s. He's going to have at least 4 to 5.
LeBron
30
lives
30s.
right now are already bad. The Taco Tuesday shit that we had, remember that? Taco Tuesday for like
Yo.
3 years every Tuesday.
He tried to. He tried to. What is that called?
By
what
the
is that
likeness or
copyrighted?
something like that.
Yeah, copyright.
Yeah,
he
he
tried to
did.
copyright it. That shit.
Did he?
That
That's
was
crazy.
that was a crazy
No,
time
it
in the
wasn't
NBA,
successful.
bro. You're talking about every Tuesday. That was a crazy time in the NBA.
We'd have a
That
whole
was a
family
crazy time,
video
yeah.
of his whole family just eating tacos, which is without a doubt the best thing they could possibly have. I wish I had a
Yeah, he really. That's one thing he does push. He pushes family, and I can't give that at a black man pushing family at all. Not at all. I can't. That's
Yeah,
where he's
fuck
like
these
kind of
white
like,
folks.
yeah, I did not say that. Okay, well, next subject. I'm done.
All right. Well, I guess we're moving on. But yeah. Random fun fact that I found out on Instagram about Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton was drafted in the MLB. That's not the fun fact. I think that's more commonly known. But Pat Connaughton was drafted in the MLB, I believe, before he was drafted in the NBA. But he chose to
Yeah.
stay in college to play college basketball, blah, blah, blah. But he did get a signing bonus, a little over $400K for being drafted in the MLB. He did sign his contract, but he asked to be removed to continue his college career as a basketball player, and they approved it, blah, blah, blah. Which is why now we know him as Giannis's, one of his best role players right now. But Pat Connaughton used that money for real estate investments, and his first real estate investment wasn't the most successful. But him and his dad own a real estate company, and they used that first experience to, of course, learn and master that craft. And as it stands right now, Pat Connaughton and his father's business owns over $500 million worth of assets in real
That's
estate
awesome.
as it stands right now. So Pat Connaughton is a shining example of NBA players, or just players in general, because he did use his MLB money, of course, to start this process. But he, of course, now starts using his NBA money to continue to fuel this investment and buy and flip and all that stuff. But he's a prime example of what you can build off of lesser recognized contracts. You know what I mean? Like, we're not
Yeah.
looking at Pat Connaughton as, one of the prime time paid players in the league. He's not making $30-50 million a year. I don't know what his contract is, but of course he's making a lot of money, obviously. For I would love to make how much money he makes, but there's players throughout NBA history who make similar amounts as Pat Connaughton, and they don't prosper from it. They retire or
No.
they leave the league, and they don't succeed financially. Like, they blow through that money, they use it incorrectly, they help too much. That's a crazy concept to think of, but a lot of athletes, they do that. They help friends and family too much and blow through their money, thinking that it's now their job to take care of everybody. You know what I mean? And sometimes it is. You can take care of your siblings, you can take care of your parents, but sometimes these players, they have a bad understanding of what they're supposed to be doing with their money, and they don't succeed financially once they're done with their playing careers. And how many NBA players playing career doesn't even go past 6 years? You know what I mean? Like a lot, like a lot. More players finish their careers before 6 years than players who play more than 6 years. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Like there's players that
Without a doubt.
leave. Yeah, without a doubt. There's players that leave every day, bro.
There's only 450 players in the NBA at any given time, and we've drafted 60 every year.
Exactly.
We
Cam
got over
Reddish
that
just
number.
Cam Reddish just got waived. I don't know where he's gonna fit in the NBA anymore. You know what I mean? Like
He's definitely overseas guy.
Alex Len just got waived. I don't know where he fits in the NBA anymore. You know what I mean? But
He does not fit anywhere. He has not fit anywhere for like 3-4 years.
exactly, but that goes to my point. Like these careers are short, man. So ultimately, what I'm saying, shout out to Pat Connaughton for making something out of the opportunity that God blessed him with to be a basketball player, and of course a multi-talented athlete because he was a good enough baseball player to be drafted to the MLB as well. But
he only made $30 million in his NBA career, to give you an idea, and he has $500 million. He only made $30 million.
Exactly.
That's
so like
20 times.
That's a phenomenal thing, and to start the business with his father, man, it's just a great example because now he owns percentage of that as well. I'm sure I don't know who's the brains of the operation, but you have to say Pat Connaughton is fueling the success of being able to do this because it's that money that they're using to start it and to fuel it and to feed it. You know what I mean?
Bro can do it all. He's got a 96 mile per hour fastball, to give you an idea.
That's elite. That's elite.
He has one of the highest verticals recorded in the NBA Combine too. It's like 45 feet.
Yeah.
Or 45 inches, not feet. Jesus.
Phenomenal athlete. Phenomenal overall athlete. Shout out to him. But that was just a little fun fact that I found out about. I wanted to give him his flowers because a lot of players in NBA history could have learned from this. It's not all about strip clubs and nice cars. You know what I mean? Like, and listen, I'm sure Pat Connaughton indulges in some fun. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here saying that Pat Connaughton's never stepped foot in a strip club. You know what I mean? I don't know if he has. I don't know if he hasn't. But like, he's a good example of understanding that there's ways to manage your money. This is what generational wealth looks like. And shout out to him for putting this together with his father. Shout out to him.
Yeah, it is crazy because there's other NBA players who've done things like this. I can't put my finger on it, but there's another NBA player who's kind of done investments the right way, and definitely made money in the league. There's a couple players. I'm gonna get that list.
Are you talking about
soon, but
Glenn Davy Davis?
No, not scam artist. Not a scam artist. I forgot. Jeff Teague mentioned him in a podcast. I just can't think of the name. But it'll hit me later on. I know it will. But there's other players that have done this and have took with the minimal they've had and made it abundantly more a real generational wealth. So yeah.
And there's definitely other players, of course, that done it. He was the one that hit my radar, and I just figured let me add him to the list for today. But yeah, of course, there's other players in NBA history who has made the best out of the opportunity that was given to them. And shout out to all of them because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Seeing all that money in your bank account, it's tempting, bro. It's tempting. Money is the root of all evil. That's a fact.
I'm spending it immediately on dumb things.
Exactly.
I'm buying every single Marvel Rivals skin. I can tell you right now. Every single one.
Man.
He's spending.
Tyler, you might get what you want too.
He's spending his $400K contract on just a couple $100 of Marvel Rivals skins.
Immediately.
I'm
making every single build I want in 2K. Tell you right now.
Every single build. What would you guys spend your first
every build I want
if you were an NBA player?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be frank. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I can't answer that question with my current mindset because I'm a different individual than I would have been in an alternate universe if I would have been drafted in the NBA, right? So if I would have been drafted in the NBA, I would have been 19, 20, 21 years old. I would have been an idiot. So at that point in my life, with how I used to spend money, being broke as it is, I know I don't think I would have used that money wisely. I really don't think so. And I hope in this alternate universe, I am a legendary, high caliber player, so I can get paid more for years to come. But if I'm not, if I'm a Cam Reddish, if I'm if I'm one of these guys, I know I would have blown through that money. In that mindset, I'll let somebody else go, and then I'll give you my second answer with my current mindset.
Okay.
Just
Go
give the
ahead,
current
Tyler.
one.
I didn't
Yeah,
want to
just
keep
go ahead.
laughing.
Just put
You
a
already
I
shot.
didn't
go.
want to keep
Just
laughing.
put
I
a
wanted
shot.
somebody else to go, just in case. But with
Here,
my
I'll go
current
real quick then.
mindset, oh,
Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go.
All right. Well, with my current mindset, then yeah, I would be smarter with my money. I would 100% invest it. Um, I'm taking care of the people who are immediately most important to me. I'm gonna take care of my mom and my dad. But I genuinely, and I don't know how everybody else is gonna feel about this. I genuinely do believe with that first original contract. Let's assume I'm a late first rounder, right? Just to be realistic here, and I'm not making the most money out of it, all the draft picks. I'm not here to put you in a mansion. I'm not here to get you the most expensive car. Like, I'll put you in a new car, nice but conservative. I'll put you in a new house or buy your current house so you don't have to make payments on that anymore. I would be more realistic with it as a young guy with money that I know is gonna, blow through fast. Um, I'm not gonna get you the latest. I don't even. I'm not even a car guy. I can't even think of an expensive car, to be honest. But I'm not gonna get you the most expensive car. I'm not gonna get you a $5 million house. And put a big ass down payment on it. Like, I'm gonna be conservative. I'm gonna try and invest my money. I'm gonna take care of my immediate family, my wife, my kids. Start a college fund. Depending on well, I guess at that age, maybe I don't have this stuff in my life, but let's assume I do. I'm taking care of them first. I would be much smarter. I would be much smarter. But Nas, the real Nas, at 20 years old, would have blown through that shit.
Yeah, because I can tell you immediately, I'm buying a condo, I'm buying a car immediately, and I'm probably wasting a lot of the money because of that.
It's hard,
And
bro.
I'm
Uh,
gonna
I
start
don't
paying off
judge
other
them.
people's debt. I just know I would spend a lot of money. I know my personality back then. I would say yes to everybody too.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely be the brokest one in here, by a long shot. And you guys are doing the right thing. But honestly, my thing is, I would definitely buy a lot of lands. But I've always been kind of like into music and podcasting and media in general. So somehow, some way, I think I would have ended up buying a studio to do media and stuff like that because I've always loved it. I went to school for it. So yeah, I think my first major purchase would be like a studio to do this, you know. Because I don't think in whatever reality I'm gonna love talking shit, and that's my favorite thing to do. This is why I pod. But I think my second thing is definitely getting my mom a house. I think I would do that, and whatever I have left over, I probably live with my mom still probably after I get her house. But you know what I'm saying? I would be very humble about it. And really, my thing is just buying a studio with the cameras, with the right engineer in it, engineering, just like the D3 Studio, but just a little bit more, even more high tech. So something like that. Shout out to D3 Studio, by the way. It's been a while.
Yeah, we gotta go back there. But yeah, um, I respect these players who have used their money wisely. I know it's not easy. It's so unfortunate that at a young age your brain just doesn't process all these possibilities and doesn't think things through. You know what I mean? It's so unfortunate that life works that way. But it's Pat Connaughton had the right influences in his life. He had the right influences, the right people in his corner to keep him grounded, to keep him leveled, and say, listen, be mindful with your money. Be mindful. Let's not do nothing. I don't need a new car. I don't need a new house. Like let's make you rich for years to come. Because you're rich right now doesn't guarantee you're going to be rich in a year or two. So
Yeah.
let's use this money to guarantee that you will be rich in a year and two and three and four. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to Pat Connaughton and all the people in his corner for helping him
It's
make that
crazy
happen.
discipline to do that. It's
Yeah,
crazy amounts of discipline.
insane.
Yeah, yeah. You literally are like saving for the future. So yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta give him that
Oh,
for sure, for sure.
real quick, I want to bring something up. We talked about earlier. We talked about March Madness, and we said we're going to talk women a little bit more. Right now in the Florida Maryland game, Angel Reese's brother is playing. He's
Yeah,
got
he's
like
actually
12 and
not
8
bad
right
either.
now. He's playing
Oh,
pretty good.
nice. Nice. Is he
See it.
is he on the draft board for anybody? Is he draftable?
I don't believe that he is, unfortunately. I
I
don't
haven't
believe he
personally
is.
heard of
And
him.
they're also about to lose.
I haven't personally heard of him. Only NBA.
He's
only
second round.
Only WNBA brother that I've ever been familiar with was Sharif Cooper. I was a huge fan of his sister because I'm a Sparks fan by default. She's not in the league anymore, unfortunately, but her brother got drafted to the Hawks. I don't think he's still in the league,
He's also
unfortunately.
not around anymore.
Yeah.
They're both just
Yeah.
gone.
He did. He was pretty hyped though. People liked him a lot. He was a very common or a very popular player amongst the crowd.
He's very athletic. That's why he had a great ball handle from the mix hip I saw, and then also he could dunk at like 6'1".
Yeah, I think he's
Pretty
shorter.
nice.
I think he's 6 feet 5'11". He's super short.
He really might.
Yeah.
He's with I forgot what happened to him actually. I don't know.
I thought he was still in the G League and just hasn't been called up ever again. Or he could be overseas. I don't even know. But that's the only.
He's in Greece.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, I guess that's it for that. Last final time, shout out to Pat Connaughton for putting that together for himself and his family. Damian Lillard is next on our list here. Short and simple, but Damian Lillard has been diagnosed with blood clots somewhere in his shoulder, if I'm not mistaken.
Thought it was calf.
Shoulder.
Huh? Yeah, shoulder. He's out indefinitely, but they have optimism that he could return this season. I'm not too familiar with blood clot. Is that considered an injury or a disease? How does that work? I'm sorry to sound ignorant. I really don't know.
It could be both. Some people do. There are diseases that do cause blood clots more often, but in his case, it would be more towards an injury. It's something that could be removed and taken care of.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they have hopes that he could return for the season or playoffs at least. They don't have that many games left in the season. It seems unlikely, unfortunately, but that is an increase in the last few years, a very large increase of players with this condition or this injury. I'm sorry, this injury. Considering I don't think it was common before then. You know what I mean? Like there was a big gap between Chris Bosh and then the next occurrence, which I'm assuming was Brandon Ingram. But then after Brandon Ingram, now the gaps have gotten kind of smaller. You know what I mean? Now we got Wemby, far more recent. Dame immediately after.
They're looking for them now. This was not something that they were paying attention to until the Chris Bosh thing.
That makes sense.
And
Wow.
this has been something that they focus a lot more on. I mean, a player almost died. Like a star player almost died because of this. So they had to change some things. And then shortly after, Brandon Ingram also has to deal with this. So it's something that they put more of an eye on. There was a comment I saw. I don't remember if it was Adam Silver or somebody from the medical staff on the NBA, but they were talking about them just putting more resources into this.
Yeah, that's good. There has to be something in the water though. Like there has to be something that's either some sort of medication that NBA players have been introduced to, some sort of training regimen that they've been introduced to. There has to be something new within the league that's causing this.
It's injury based.
The COVID shot.
Well,
shut up. It happened to Chris Bosh.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But
that was one player. Now it's been 3 in the last 2 years.
It's happened to more players. They just found out after they retired. They weren't looking for it. Do you know what thrombosis is? It happens when you get injured.
Yeah, I talk about
and
the
remember,
old people all day.
Yeah, he had multiple injuries in his shoulder. He had injuries in his abs. Like he did kind of have a lot of injuries to cause this. The issue is, think of all the players that are getting it. Almost all of them, besides Wemby, have been injury prone lately. Like Brandon Ingram, he's very injury prone.
He really is.
Lillard has been injury prone.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, hopefully these new resources that are being exhausted to catch these things and to improve diagnosis on these things, hopefully that makes a difference because it's definitely scary to hear, once upon a time an NBA player almost, passed away because of something like this. So definitely hope that it works out. And whatever it is that Adam Silver and the league are going to be doing differently, I hope it really does make a large difference. But Last but not least, Orlando, you get your opportunity to plead your case here. You've decided to add a little topic to our
So
list for today. We're gonna finish off
so
with that. So
this
I'm gonna give you an opportunity to plead your case before I rip you a new one. Let us know what you think here.
no. It was I forgot to put a question mark there. It was a question for the chat. I was watching Jeff Teague's podcast this morning right after I was watching some of our old stuff, and they were having a debate about Dyso Daniels. Um, Obviously, I think he is a premier perimeter defensive player in the NBA. Stats will support that. But basketball is a two-way sport, so you need to be good offensively. I'll let you guys look up his stats first before I go into my tangent. But when it comes to Dyson Daniels, and I'll let you guys go first. Do you guys think he's a top 10 shooting guard in the NBA?
No.
No. I
All
think
right.
top 20.
So let's start on this side of the ball defensively. Give me 10 players at shooting guard, starters that are better than him as a defender.
He's a top 10 defensive shooting guard in the NBA.
I think he's the best
Okay.
defensive shooting guard in the NBA right now.
Okay.
Yeah. He
So,
could be. Yeah.
all right. So in the debate, they kind of mentioned as well, if he gets a 3-point shot, does he become $100 million player? Right? They didn't really say the best shooting guard or whatever. So let's say we add Dyson Daniel to 40% shooting, right? I think he's around 38. He averages around 38, 36.
No, bro.
And then
He's
I
like
thought about,
29.
Dyson Daniels
wow, they got their
is a good shooter.
yeah. They got their fucking stats wrong. So regardless, let me
He
kind
could
of go backwards.
numbers in recent games. Maybe that's what they were.
Maybe, who knows? But I guess my whole theory on it is, why is he not a top 10 shooting guard if he is probably the best defending shooting guard in the NBA? And then I kind of went
He has
through it.
no
I know we have
offensive game
Anthony.
at all.
Yeah, I'll say
Yeah, but like after,
I went all the way
yeah, go ahead.
to third. That's when his started. Or what happened, or at that point, like that's around the streak started. 23rd, he is averaging 7 3.
So with that,
That was a
wait, how
random.
much is he averaging? I'm sorry.
Selected.
You're breaking up.
He
What was
averages 38% from three. So if you go back to
It's not bad.
January 3rd, he's averaging 15, 6, and 5 with 38% from three. That still would not put him at 10 for me, though.
I mean, let's go through it together, guys, as a unit. We can go away with the for real, the Anthony Edwards, obviously, Donovan Mitchell. We could throw Austin Reeves in there,
Devin Booker.
right? No,
Yeah.
Devin Booker.
Booker.
All right.
White.
After that, well, I mean, the good research
Desmond
has to
Bane.
be done, right?
No, Derek.
I don't know.
I can keep going.
Derek White is a better. There's no word.
Desmond Bane, Derek White. All right, let's keep
Desmond-
going.
Tyler Hero, Josh Hart.
Josh Hart is not a shooting guard.
Bridge is a shooting guard.
This season he is, though. Right, he
That
has been
is
this
true.
season. Donovan Mitchell. I don't even know if we've set him.
Yeah.
CJ McCollum.
Yeah, we said-
I set him. Derek White.
CJ McCollum.
I would say that there's 11 people without a single doubt in my mind that would be better than him. There's also people that we haven't talked about, like either one of Alex Caruso or Dort, I think is better than him currently. Right now, Norman Powell is better than him. I would say that Brandon Miller is better than him right now as well. Or at least, they're pretty similar.
I mean,
Is he-
I'm not saying that he is.
Is he better than Jalen?
Go ahead.
Is
yes.
he better than?
Yes. Yes.
Jalen who?
Is he better than
Jalen Green.
You know exactly.
Y'all know who.
No,
y'all know my.
We can't
build
hear
is
you,
literally
Nas.
Jalen
You're
Green.
cutting out.
My build is literally Jalen Green. You guys know how I feel about Jalen Green. I think he's damn near next up to J.R. Smith in my eyes. How I model my game in real life. But yeah, no, it was just a curiosity thing. I wanted to see your guys, your guys' responses to it. But I honestly think he can be at times, and I think it's whatever team he goes to, he can be, shined out a little better. But it just depends. I honestly also don't think his career is going to last any longer in Atlanta anyways. I think he is going to go somewhere else when it's time for contract. because I think he is going to get paid. But if he does shoot at a 45% clip, maybe get his points per game a little bit higher. I think he can be a top 10 shooting guard within the next 2 to 3 years.
If
So
he
ultimately-
shoots 45% from three, Pluto, he will be the number one shooting guard in the league. If he shoots 45% from three, bro.
What is Steph shooting like what? Oh, okay, that's a crazy ass number. Let me say 42,
Like
40.
Those are high numbers.
Yeah,
Steph
he-
is like 40%.
Early shooting. If you give him a bump, give him 39. Like the hell kind of player you?
Give him 37 first, and then 40, and then go up. But like Steph is shooting 39.4% right now.
Ultimately, though, do you think the top 10 shooter?
I don't. I mean, I was thinking about it for a while on my drive here. I didn't even want to put it in the notes. I don't know if you guys saw when I rehearsed the notes. I didn't want to put it in there. I just thought it would be way more of an interesting topic. But I could say he's the best perimeter defender when I look at like perimeter defending in the NBA right now. I could say he's the best perimeter defender in the NBA, or up there at least.
I agree with that.
At least top 5.
Him and Dort are probably right there.
Yeah, that I guess with Dyso Daniels is the best shooting guard of the NBA. I came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
That's all we have. That's all on our list. That's all we have. Man, let us know in the comment section. Dyso Daniels is a shooting guard in the make sure you go to our top 10 singles of all time. Debate. Great into that for this podcast. Man, we for being here. Hit that subscribe, hit that, share with all your friends and family. Do what it takes to help us grow. Out.